Hello, welcome to the Villages, Florida. My name is David. I'm a realtor with Florida Realty Investments, and I can be reached at davidisinFlorida@gmail.com. Every week, we take a look at the Villages real estate market to try to get some sense as to whether prices are holding steady or moving higher or lower. And there is some interesting news this week. Most of it concerns properties nationwide, but we will focus on Florida specifically, and we will have our regular report on the Villages real estate market after that. A couple of things to alert you to. First, we produce this show every Monday. Make sure that you check the date to ensure that you're getting the most recent information. Secondly, all of this information is drawn from the MLS, the Multiple Listing Service. It does not include any properties from the VLS, the Village's own internal listing service. For that reason, if you are considering buying a home in the Villages, I suggest you employ two real estate agents, a VLS agent and an MLS agent. Without both, you will not be able to see all of the properties that are on the market because the MLS agent cannot show you VLS properties and the VLS agent cannot show you MLS properties. So, with that out of the way, let's take a look at what's happening with real estate nationwide to start. This week, we're going to start by taking a look at this chart prepared by Joseph Politano, which looks at home value changes over the last 12 months broken down by county. And you can see that everything west of Arizona and Utah, including Arizona and Utah, are predominantly seeing lower prices, where the middle of the country and Florida specifically are seeing increasing prices. So while you may hear stories about real estate falling or rising in different markets around the country, in the Florida market at least, we are still attracting buyers, and a lot of properties here go under contract very quickly after entering the market. This Zillow graphic is from the 28th of May, by the way. The next graph we're going to look at is from Redfin data, and this is from June the 1st, and it shows the year over year growth in investor purchases, down 49% year over year, a steeper decline than we saw during the '08 crash, and a steeper decline even than during the COVID-19 pandemic. So certainly it appears that investors, many of whom are using borrowed funds, are getting cold feet. Whether this affects Florida or not, who knows? But there are investors who buy in the Villages for rental purposes, and we'll see if the nationwide trend affects our market locally. The last thing we're going to look at on a national level is the mortgage rate. This is the 10-year government bond yield. Those of you who follow the channel know that that most closely tracks the mortgage rate. And it's hard to say if we're heading higher or lower from here. But for the last 9 months or so, the 10-year rate's been between 3.2 and 4.2, and it's pretty much in the middle of that range now. If indeed rates head substantially higher, it's hard to imagine that the real estate market could do well. On the other hand, it's also hard to imagine rates heading much higher with the economy looking as weak as some think it is. So, with that national news out of the way, let's turn our attention now to the Villages real estate market. We start by looking at total listings, which this week number 346, up from 337 last week. Prices ranged from just under 210,000 to just under $3 million. For the last couple of months, the number of listings has been hovering at this level. Here are total listings broken down by price segment. Most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range. This week there are 227 homes for sale. Last week there were 224. The week before 238. The week before 222, and the week before that 214. Here we look at all listings and the median price per square foot. This week, $261.22 is the median listing price per foot, up very slightly from the 260.38 that we saw last week. And looking at this graph, there's no sign that prices are going to be increasing anytime soon. This shows us the median time on the market for all listings. As of today, 45 days is the median listing time, down slightly from the 47-day median time last week. We haven't really seen this change very much. It's gone between 40 and 55, but it's hovered around 45 since the end of last year. Here's a graph that I thought would be more interesting than it turned out to be. This is a look at how many listings have been on the market for more than 100 days. As of today, 61 out of the 346 listings have been on the market for more than 100 days. Here we look at new listings and pending home sales. I'm deploying a new version of the graph, which I think makes it easier to see. The blue line is new listings. This graph goes back to the beginning of the year, and the amber line are pending home sales week by week. And you can see as the blue line rises and falls, it appears that the market has been roughly in balance since the beginning of the year, even as the number of new homes has increased. Here's a look at new listings broken down by price segment. 55 new listings this week compared to 27 the previous week. Prices ranged from just under 280 to just under 990. Last 7 days, the most active price segment, $300,000 to $500,000 range, saw 38 homes listed. 17 the week before, 31 the week before that, 29 the week before that, and 26 the week before that. Yeah, we're taking a closer look at pending home sales and look at what the price per square foot was on the homes that went pending over the last 7 days. We're up from 246.07 last week to 258.25 this week. And once again, 245 to 255 seems to be the range that we've been in for the last 6 to 9 months. This graph shows us the median time on the market for the homes that went pending over the last 7 days. Big improvement this week, 31 days the median time, down from 42 days last week. But once again, 30 to 40 days seems to be the general range we've been in for the last 9 months or so. And our last look at pending home sales, giving us some idea as to buyer enthusiasm. This shows us since the beginning of the year how many homes went pending within 7 days of being listed. 9 out of the 42 homes that went pending within 7 days, 21%, an improvement on the 17% that we saw last week. So now we take a look at homes that sold and closed over the last 7 days. There were 48, a big increase from the 30 homes that sold the 7 days previous. Homes ranged in price from 185,000 to a home that sold for $1.3 million. Interestingly enough, the home that sold for 1.3 was originally listed for 1.4, so there wasn't much of a reduction, and it was only on the market for 33 days. Some interesting data in this sold table compared to what we've been seeing recently. First, I'll draw your attention to what normally is the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range, which is normally the price segment seeing the most activity. This is the first time in a long while that we've seen more activity in the $200,000 to $400,000 price range than the $300,000 to $500,000 price range. This is a look at the change in the price per square foot on homes that sold every 7 day period. Over the last 7 days, the median price realized was $243 a square foot, down from the $246 that we saw last week. And even though the decline seems gentle, if you take a look at this graph, it certainly does appear as if we are in a slow, gentle decline. Two perspectives on how long homes are taking to sell. The first is this graph, which shows us the median time on the market for the homes that closed over the last 7 days. They were on the market a median 31 days compared to a median 48 days the week before. It's hard to look at this graph and form any conclusion. Between 30 and 50 days is the median time that we've been seeing for 9 months now. And this is our last look at homes that sold. We're looking at what percentage of the homes that closed over the last 7 days were on the market for 7 days or less before going pending. The homes that sold over the last 7 days, 23% of them were purchased within 7 days of being listed, almost twice the rate of the week before. Here we look at the general market, taking a look at how many listings have reduced their asking price from their original listing price. We were almost at 55% last week. We're down to 53% this week. I don't know if we're going to continue using this graph. This type of graph can be misleading because obviously homes that have just entered the market will not have a price decrease. Another look at sellers who have decreased their asking price. This looks at what the median decrease is for all listings. A decrease of 4.35% from the original listing price, about the same as the 4.38% median decrease that we saw last week. That is our look at the Villages real estate market for June the 5th, 2023. If you're interested in buying a home in the Villages, trying to get a good deal, or you're trying to sell your home in a reasonable period of time, or you'd like to hire a local broker to do video walkthroughs of homes that may interest you, please reach out to me at davidisinflorida@gmail.com. Be happy to answer any questions you have about real estate or life in the villages itself. Hope to hear from you. Take care.